Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Markets to Watch from Smack the Markets for week commencing the 25th of November. Now this week we've got a fairly light, or certainly lighter than usual, news schedule. We also have the US holiday on Thursday, that's Thanksgiving, likely to make the Friday and the Wednesday also fairly light trading sessions as well, certainly light from the US point of view too. So the main sentiment of the markets is still centered around the US and China trade negotiations and the completion of that sort of phase one deal, which is still progressing as we know. So let's take a look at the few markets here that we're keeping a close eye on at the start of this week. So first of all, if we come and take a look at the currency market here of our choice, which is the dollar Sing. So again, looking at sort of US dollar strength as we're seeing at the moment, seeing a continuation of that sort of strength, could start to see some of these dollar markets sort of turn around and see some strength coming into them. Now, we particularly like the dollar Sing here because the market's rejecting off this sort of 136 level. We've got sort of like an inverted sort of head and shoulders sort of pattern formation here on the daily chart. I'm not necessarily really interested in the sort of name of these sort of patterns, but effectively we've got the sort of turnaround of a trend structure and the market sort of breaking out towards the long side here. We're probably looking up here towards this sort of higher end of this trading window, which is around that 137 level there. Coming down the time frames and possibly take a look at this on the 4-hour chart, it's a little bit easier. You can see that the trend structure here has been sort of turned around now to the long side. We've got a nice sort of quality trend forming here with our moving averages and nice sort of strength coming in with the use of our oscillator indicators as well. So the market's just sort of broken through this sort of 136 sort of 35 area where we've had previous support and resistance, as you can see on the 4-hour time frame. Trend structure looking quite reasonable. Again, looking for longer opportunities up here to close these sort of trading windows. So long US dollar against the Sing is one of our sort of favorite currency, US dollar currency markets. If we come and take a look at the Dow here, again, the Dow has had a very good trend. It's been very sort of very strong here for quite some time. Last week, the market pulled back into 27,700. It's put in a nice higher low here back into that level of support and also back into that fair value zone. The market's sort of pushing out of there again, looking for that trend to continue. Now, we've had a flurry of M&A activity sort of announcements over the weekend, which is obviously sort of supporting the strength of the Dow here going into the start of this week. So what we're looking for is overall our bias is still long here on the Dow, of course, and US indices as a whole. But we're looking for possibly for some intraday action, sort of possibly pull back in to close this sort of gap, and then looking for a continuation to the long side. So again, looking for buying opportunities on the dips where the market pulls back into fair value zones. Now, if we come and take a look at the commodities this week, we clearly at the moment we're seeing a bit of a risk-on approach going into the start of this week. So looking at these metals here, and certainly silver is more one of our sort of favorite ones, looking for these to be weakening off slightly. So silver here has been one of the markets that we've been keeping an eye on for opportunities as the market breaks underneath the $17 level. More recently, the market sort of pushed above 17, but now it's broken back underneath it again. You can see this level sort of quite a strong technical level on this market. Price has broken underneath that now, and we've got this sort of lower end of this trading window sort of sitting around that sort of 16 sort of 200, 16,300 sort of price point. So there's still plenty of distance potentially to the short side if these trends continue. So looking at continued silver short opportunities, the timeframes that we're looking at trading were likely to be more the intraday timeframes on this market. But again, looking for those weaker prices, plenty of distance to the short side on these two. So there's a few markets there that we're keeping a close eye on for trading opportunities going into the beginning of this week. Certainly hope it helps and look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.